There is a room inside a laboratory in Copenhagen where, almost 100 years ago, a group of physicists stared at a chalkboard and realized they could no longer explain reality. The particles they were studying did not behave like solid objects. They flickered. They blurred. They existed in multiple states at once until someone looked at them. The moment a conscious observer measured the particle, it collapsed into a single, definite position. Before observation, it was everywhere and nowhere. After observation, it was here. That discovery shook the foundations of Western science. But halfway across the world, 25 centuries earlier, a man sitting beneath a fig tree had already seen the same truth from the inside. Not through instruments, but through silence. The Buddha closed his eyes and watched reality arise. He watched it form from attention itself. He watched how the untrained mind builds entire worlds out of craving and projection. And he watched how stillness dissolves those worlds back into clarity. Tonight, we sit at the place where these two rivers meet, the river of modern physics and the river of ancient awareness. And what we find at that meeting point may change the way you understand yourself, your thoughts, and the world you believe is solid beneath your feet. Take a breath right now. Feel your lungs expand. Feel the weight of your body in your chair or against the ground. Notice that you are here and that the act of noticing itself is already shaping this moment. To continue healing your body and soul through these ancient teachings, I invite you to join our path by subscribing to this sanctuary. This is a place where we slow down, where we look within, and where the noise of the world gives way to something older and truer. If these words reach something quiet inside you, stay with us. Walk this path together. Now let us begin with the first question that neither the physicist nor the monk can avoid. What exactly is an observer? In quantum mechanics, the observer is not a passive witness. The observer is a participant. When physicists run what is known as the double-slit experiment, they fire tiny particles, photons, or electrons through two narrow openings. Without observation, those particles behave like waves, passing through both slits simultaneously and creating an interference pattern on the other side. They exist as probability, as potential, as a shimmering field of what could be. But the moment a detector is placed at the slits, the moment someone watches, the wave collapses. The particle chooses a single path. It becomes definite. It becomes real in the way we understand real. This is not a metaphor. This is a repeatable, verified experiment that has been confirmed thousands of times in laboratories around the world. The act of observation changes the outcome. Now hold that thought and travel with me to a monastery in northern Thailand, where a forest monk sits in the pre-dawn darkness. His eyes are closed. His breath moves slowly through his belly. He is practicing vipassana, the ancient art of insight meditation. He is watching his own mind. He notices a thought arising. It is a memory of his childhood village, the smell of rain on red soil. He does not chase the memory. He does not push it away. He simply observes it. And in the act of pure observation, the thought changes. It softens. It dissolves. It was never solid to begin with. This is the first pillar. Observation is not neutral. To look is to participate. To watch is to shape. Whether you are a physicist measuring an electron or a meditator watching a thought, the same principle echoes through both traditions. The observer and the observed are not separate. The Buddha called this namarupa, the inseparable dance of mind and form. Name and shape, consciousness and matter, always co-arising, never existing alone. You cannot have a world without a mind to know it. and you cannot have a mind without a world to arise within. Feel that truth in your body right now. Feel how your awareness is already touching the room around you and already shaping what you notice and what you ignore. You are not a camera passively recording. You are a field of attention, and everything within that field is being shaped by your presence. This leads us to the second pillar. The universe is not made of things. It is made of relationships. In classical physics, we imagined a world built from solid, separate objects, atoms like tiny billiard balls bouncing off each other in empty space. But quantum mechanics revealed something far stranger. At the subatomic level, particles do not have fixed properties until they interact with other particles. An electron does not have a definite position until it relates to something else, a photon, a detector, an observer. Reality, at its deepest level, is relational. Things do not exist in isolation. They exist in connection. The Buddha saw this 2,500 years ago and called it pratyasamutpada, dependent origination. Nothing arises on its own. Everything comes into being because of conditions. Your anger arises because of a thought, which arose because of a memory, which arose because of a sensation. Your joy arises in the same way. The breath you are taking right now is possible because of sunlight, because of trees, because of the ancient stars that forge the oxygen in your lungs. You are not a separate thing observing a separate world. You are a pattern within the pattern, a wave that has briefly risen from the ocean and believes it is something other than water. Let your shoulders soften. Let the tension in your jaw release. Feel how your body is not a wall between you and the world, but a membrane, porous, alive, constantly exchanging air and heat and sensation with everything around you. This brings us to the third pillar. Emptiness is not nothing. It is infinite potential. One of the most misunderstood words in Buddhism is sunyata, often translated as emptiness. When people hear that word, they imagine a void, a blank darkness, an absence. But that is not what the Buddha meant. Emptiness means that nothing possesses a fixed, independent, permanent essence. A chair is not inherently a chair. It is wood which was once a tree, which was once a seed, which was once part of the earth. The chair is a temporary arrangement of conditions, and when those conditions change, the chair will become something else. In quantum physics, the vacuum of space is not empty either. It is a seething ocean of virtual particles, flickering in and out of existence billions of times per second. What we call empty space is actually the most energetically dense substance in the universe. It is a field of pure potential, waiting for observation to bring something into form. The Buddhist sage Nagarjuna wrote that it is precisely because things are empty that they can arise. If things had fixed, permanent natures, change would be impossible. Nothing new could ever come into being. It is emptiness, this lack of fixed essence, that allows the universe to create, to flow, to become. So when the Buddha says all phenomena are empty, he is not saying the world is meaningless. He is saying the world is endlessly creative. He is saying that nothing is locked in place, including your suffering, including your fear, including the story you tell yourself about who you are. Let's breathe into that. Feel the space inside your chest. That space is not absence. It is possibility. The fourth pillar asks us to look directly at the nature of the mind itself. There is a famous Zen koan. A student asks the master, "What is the mind?" The master replies, "The mind is not the mind. Therefore, I call it the mind." This sounds like a riddle, but it is pointing at something precise. When we look for the mind, we cannot find it. It has no color, no shape, no location. You cannot open the skull and point to a thought. You cannot weigh awareness on a scale. And yet, here it is, undeniably present, knowing, experiencing, reading these words right now. Neuroscience has mapped the brain in extraordinary detail. We know which regions activate during fear, during love, during memory. But the hard problem of consciousness, the question of why physical processes give rise to subjective experience, remains unsolved. We know the brain is involved, but we do not know how electrochemical signals become the felt quality of seeing blue, or tasting honey, or aching with grief. The Buddha did not attempt to solve this problem from the outside. He went inside. He sat with his own awareness until he could see its nature directly. And what he found was not a thing, but a process. Consciousness is not a noun. It is a verb. It is the act of knowing, arising fresh in each moment, dependent on conditions, empty of a fixed self. This is liberating. If consciousness is not a fixed thing trapped inside a body, then it is not limited in the way we imagine. It is fluid, responsive, capable of transformation. The prison you believe you are in is made of thoughts, and in thoughts dissolve under the light of steady attention. Now feel your hands. Feel the warmth in your palms. Feel the pulse of blood beneath your skin. That feeling, that simple awareness of sensation, is the consciousness we are speaking of. It is not hidden somewhere behind your eyes. It is right here, in the tips of your fingers, in the rhythm of your heartbeat. The fifth pillar is this: the world you see is not the world as it is. It is the world your mind has constructed. Every moment, your brain is receiving millions of signals from your senses: light, sound, pressure, temperature, chemical signatures. But you do not experience those raw signals. Your brain takes that flood of data and builds a model, a representation, a simulation. The colors you see are not in the world. Color is a label your brain assigns to certain wavelengths of light. The sounds you hear are not in the air. Sound is how your brain interprets vibrations. The solid ground beneath you is mostly empty space, atoms held together by electromagnetic force, with vast distances between each nucleus. The Buddha said the same thing in a different language. In the Sabha Sutta, he taught that the all, the entirety of our experiential world, consists of the 6 sense bases and their objects. He was not speaking about an objective external universe. He was speaking about the world as it appears within awareness. This does not mean the world is fake. It means the world is co-created, woven from the meeting of sense and object, mind and matter, observer and observed. The 6th pillar confronts us with the most uncomfortable insight of all. If the observer shapes reality, then your suffering is not happening to you. It is being constructed by the way you observe. This is not victim blaming. This is a statement about the mechanics of the mind. When 2 people face the same situation, one may feel devastated while the other feels motivated. The difference is not in the situation. The difference is in the quality of attention brought to it. The Buddha identified craving, tanha, as the force that distorts our observation. When we look at the world through the lens of wanting, we do not see things as they are. We see things as we wish they were, or as we fear they might be. Craving bends our perception the way gravity bends light. And the antidote is not positive thinking. The antidote is clear seeing. Vipassana, insight meditation, trains the mind to observe without the distortion of craving or aversion. When you sit and watch a painful sensation in your body, without flinching, without narrating, without wishing it away, something extraordinary happens. The sensation changes, not because you forced it, but because you stopped adding to it with your resistance. This is the collapse of the wave function applied to the inner world. Observation without interference allows reality to settle into its natural state. Let your belly be soft right now. Let the breath fall all the way down to the lowest part of your abdomen. There is nothing to fix in this moment. There is only this. The seventh pillar brings us to the nature of time. In physics, time is far more mysterious than our daily experience suggests. Einstein demonstrated that time is relative, that it stretches and contracts depending on speed and gravity. At the quantum level, some equations work equally well whether time moves forward or backward. The arrow of time, the sense that the past is behind us and the future ahead, may be a feature of our perception rather than a fundamental property of reality. The Buddha taught that the only moment that truly exists is this one. The past is a memory arising now. The future is an imagination arising now. Both are constructions of the mind, appearing in the present field of awareness. This is not philosophical wordplay. This is a direct invitation. When you sit in meditation and bring your full attention to this breath, this sensation, this sound, you step out of the river of mental time. You enter what some teachers call the eternal present. Not a long duration, but a depth, a quality of attention that touches something timeless. The great Zen master Dogen wrote that time is being, and being is time. Each moment is not a container that holds experience. Each moment is experience itself. The eighth pillar speaks to interconnection at the deepest scale. In quantum mechanics, there is a phenomenon called entanglement. When two particles interact and then separate, they remain correlated no matter how far apart they travel. Measure one, and the other responds instantly, faster than light. Einstein called this spooky action at a distance, and he never fully accepted it. But experiment after experiment has confirmed that it is real. The universe, it seems, is non-local. Things that appear separate are, at a deeper level, still connected. Buddhism uses the image of Indra's net, an infinite web of jewels, each jewel reflecting every other jewel. Nothing exists in isolation. Every action, every thought, every breath reverberates through the whole. When you are kind to a stranger, that kindness does not end at the edge of the interaction. It ripples. When you sit in silence and calm your own mind, that calm does not stay inside your skull. It enters the room. Others feel it. You are not a lonely observer, sealed off from the world. You are a node in the net, and every shift in your awareness shifts the net itself. The ninth and final pillar is the one the Buddha pointed to most often: liberation. If reality is shaped by observation, then the quality of your observation determines the quality of your world. If you observe through greed, you see a world of scarcity. If you observe through fear, you see a world of threats. If you observe through clarity, through equanimity, through compassion, you see the world as it is, luminous, interconnected, and free. The physicist may stop at the measurement problem and call it a mystery. The meditator does not stop. The meditator trains the instrument of observation itself. The meditator purifies the mirror. Nibbana, the extinguishing of craving, aversion, and delusion, is not a place. It is not a reward. It is what remains when the distortions are removed. It is the natural state of consciousness when consciousness stops grasping and simply rests in its own clarity. You do not need to understand every equation or memorize every sutra. You need only to do one thing: watch. Watch with patience. Watch without needing the next moment to be different from this one. Watch the breath rise. Watch the breath fall. Or watch the thoughts appear and dissolve like clouds in a sky that was never stained by them. The quantum physicist and the forest monk arrived at the same shore from opposite directions. One sailed outward through telescopes and particle accelerators. The other sailed inward through silence and breath. And both found the same truth. The observer is not separate from the observed. The mind is not separate from reality. And freedom begins the moment you see this clearly. Close your eyes if you can. Place your hand on your chest. Feel the warmth. Feel the rise and fall. That is not just biology. That is the universe, watching itself, knowing itself, through you. If this journey stirred something within you, I ask only that you share it with one person who may be quietly searching for the same peace. Leave a word in the comments about a moment in your life when you realized your perception had shaped your reality. Your story may become the thread that helps another soul find their way. And until we meet again in this sanctuary, breathe gently. Walk softly. Remember that the world you see tomorrow will be shaped by the quality of attention you bring to tonight. Be still. Be kind. Be the awareness behind the thought.